calling the regular meeting to order for Wednesday, August 28th to order at 7:07 p.m. All rise, pledge allegiance. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brusher.
Here.
Councilmember Coyle.
Here.
Councilmember Patel.
Here.
Councilmember Pointer. Councilmember Shmuel.
Here. All right, Madam Clerk, please read the notice.
Adequate notice of this meeting is required by the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975 has been provided by anon citizen on December 23rd, 2023, in closed main lobby municipal complex on the same evening.
Thank you. As for the council president's remarks, once again, I want to remind everybody that this is a chamber that we are trying to listen to everybody. When it is your turn, you are in your rights to speak whatever you like, but when you're not recognized, if you speak out of turn, we'll call a point of order, and if you continue to do that, we will have you remote. So let's have a good meeting, let's listen to each other.
Boo.
Moving on, Councilman Coyle.
He's redefining the law again.
To my colleagues and our residents of Edison and firefighters, I'd like to do a moment of silence for two people. Chief William Prairie and firefighter Raymond T-Bach. First with Chief Prairie, he's been a volunteer fire person on Oak Tree Road, volunteer fire company since 1975, and has been the chief there for 30 years. He passed away on Saturday. He should be recognized for his 49 years of service to the Oak Tree Volunteer Fire Department, and helped many of his members, men and women, to pursue their career in this field. Truly proud of the hard work and dedication. This person not only devoted his life, but he stayed in Edison his entire life. He didn't just do the job and then move on to retire. He loved Edison. Also want to say to a personal friend of many people, Raymond T-Bach, lifelong firefighter, family of firefighters, and sad to see him pass away last week. He was dedicated to his job, helped a lot of people. He was known for lending a hand to so many and making sure they got their start in their career. I'm proud to know him as a friend. So many here in this day know him as well. And I just want to do a moment of silence. Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Council President.
Moving on to number 5, approval of minutes. May I get a motion to approve and can I get a motion to approve? Motion to approve. May I have a second? Second.
Council President, I am seconding the motion except for A, the work session of March 11, 2024.
And I'll second the motion. Thank you, Mark. And I think Councilman Brusher is excused for review, and Councilman Cole is excused for review. All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to number 6, approval of volunteer firefighters. May I have motion to approve James E. Nielsen and Connor J. Small? Motion approved. May I have a second? Second. Motion by Councilman Shmuel, second by Councilman Coyle. All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to number 7, unfinished business, ordinance for further consideration, public hearing, and final adoption. Madam Clerk, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance canceling the $178,979.41 appropriation not needed for its original purpose entered by the Township of Edison.
All right. I will open this up to public comments on ordinance 2228.
Where is the money going? It doesn't indicate. The one below it says that it will go into an account, but this one does not indicate where the money's going.
Sonia?
So, yeah, it's still searching it up.
Wait, do you have any other questions?
No, you're only on that one, that's the one I just want to know where the money's going to. Doesn't it?
So it will be the 178,979.41 appropriation will be canceled and is being transferred to the capital fund balance.
Okay. I would just simply ask in the future that we make sure we put where it's going to. Otherwise, we're going to come up and ask you, where's the money?
Of course. Anyone else?
Nick Fagan, 42 Edgewood.
You're recognized.
Thank you, Council President. I believe, in reading these, as a cursory reading, I believe that they're cancellation of street paving. Is that correct? I'm just trying to understand, and I guess I'll just ask my question. I'm trying to understand what happened. Did we not need to pave these streets? Or did the streets not come to be? We need street paving in our town, in my opinion.
No,
So this one-
two unrelated.
These are not related to street paving.
So, this is from 2010, reconstruction, resurfacing of Wynyard Road from Estop Road to Elizabeth Court, resurfacing Roxy Ave from New Dover Road to Inman Ave, and reconstruction of Featherbed Lane from Inman Ave to Edison Park Board, finally adopted in 2010. Also, yeah,
Council President, just to answer your question, so, this is, past monies that we can no longer use, and that's why they have to get canceled.
so this is from the way Ken explained it to us. This is essentially money on balance that, essentially multiple projects that are, we can't touch, we can't use the money, but they're there and it's kind of distracting. So this is just a cleanup to get, essentially close them out and we're done with it. So that we can actually focus on the ones that are open.
And I guess that's fine, and sure, but did the original work get done? The resurfacing of Featherbed Lane and all the other streets you mentioned?
I believe from what I understand, it should be done. There might be just leftovers that they can't use. That's, again, this was from 2010. They can't do anything with the money. I don't know what exactly the status of those projects are. The only thing we do know is that they're there and they can't be touched and they can't be used. So we have to cancel them.
Okay. It still doesn't, you'll do what you want to do, council, but I would recommend that you maybe table this until you drive down Featherbed Lane, or you talk with a resident down there to see if it's been done, the work's been done, or if it still needs to be done. If you don't know if the work has been done and it still needs to be done, maybe this doesn't need canceling, maybe this just needs, the work actually just needs to be done. So my recommendation is you just table this until you can find out that answer, unless, but it still hasn't been clear to me if this work was finished or not. And you passed it back in 2010, 2015, 20-something.
2010.
2010, so it probably needed to be done by that council. That council recommended and set aside that money, correct, to do this work. No.
Absolutely, can I answer that for you?
Yeah, Mr. Fagan, it is finished. So this is just a mechanism which we have to cancel bonds we can no longer use. So in any event, I can certainly follow up to see at what point that road was done, but we cannot use these funds to do those streets any longer. So this is a mechanism in which we have to cancel bonds. It's just procedural.
That's clear, thank you for that. So you can't, it's closed, so maybe, so, gotcha. So even if you did need to do it, you'd have to close it. So maybe we missed something along the road from
Essentially, it's
2010.
an accounting cleanup. That's
Yeah.
the best way to look at it.
Okay, I hope those roads did get taken care of in the meantime, and maybe this is leftover money, but it sounds like maybe it didn't get taken care of, and those residents are gonna suffer. You see, neither here nor there, it's an accounting cleanup, I got it, thank you. Yeah, it's not right.
Elizabeth Highway 20 Netherwood Circle, which is around the corner from Roxy, down the lot, Featherbed Lane, and all the streets you're talking about. I'm just looking for clarity. So those roads that were gonna cost this amount to pave never got done, and now it's too late to spend the money that was appropriated to get those done.
No, this is only county cleanup. We don't know what happened in 2010, as far as I don't know.
So that's what I'm trying to,
Give me 1 second, let me have Sonia answer and then come to you. Yes.
So we can't make that assumption that they were not done. What we can do is cancel these. This is just, again, a mechanism to, procedurally, to have these canceled. We can certainly go look at those roads and saying if they need any patchwork or any resurfacing for that matter. So, but we can't make the assumption that they were never done.
they were never done. But, so you're canceling the money, but we still have a chance that if you go back and look at the roads, you'll see that, oh, they do need to be done. You can get more
But if I could add, that would have to be done by a new appropriation.
Correct.
Whether we vote, whether this body votes to cancel the appropriation or not cancel it, that money cannot be used. So this is purely, as you said, an accounting mechanism to clean up the books. So nothing will happen, nothing can happen with this ordinance either way.
So what I'm saying is you're canceling the money, but please don't cancel the job.
So, we do have some more information. The original ordinance was for $1,140,000. So this was the leftover from that $1,140,000. So they did use most of it, but this is just a leftover money that I'm guessing they did not use in 2010. And we can't do anything with it, so we're just canceling it. So,
Okay, but you're gonna look at it.
yes.
Thank you.
Councilor Bishop.
Well, I was just gonna say, and I don't know that I'm right with this, but I did contact the state, okay, because my presumption is that if this called for us to pave or redo curbs on Featherbed, this appropriation, and we spent $800,000 of $1 million, and there's $200,000 left, that appropriation could still be applied to that project, as like a change order or something else coming down. So it doesn't necessarily have to be done like this, but we could, was where I was going. So I haven't been able to look at all of this, but just in public notes, you'll notice that we passed a budget with $5 million for road resurfacing, or $6 million. At the end of the day, the business administrator might come to us with $4.9 million worth of road resurfacing. They go out to bid, and at that point, that might be 4.5, but we appropriated the 4.9. So this is what they're saying is that mechanism to clean up the accounting of it. Like I said, I still haven't gotten clarity from the state yet, because I think this money still could be used and appropriated for what it was originally intended for. But when I get the answer, I'll let everyone know.
Thank you, Councilor Bishop. I'm going to get a motion to close the public portion.
Motion to close the public portion?
May I have a second?
Second.
That's motion by Councilman Pointer, second by Councilman Schmuel. Can I get a motion to adopt? Motion to adopt. May I have a second?
Second.
And that's motion by Councilman Pointer, second by Councilman Schmuel. Any council comments? Council President? Council President?
Can I just give residents kind of an example of where this may come about down the road? In 2022, we allocated money to repave Brower Avenue. There was an application for the planning board for subdivision on Brower Avenue, and as one of those conditions of approval was for them to actually repave Brower Avenue, right? So that would, instead of going on the onus of the township, was made a part of the condition of that application. So in the sense, like why something may not have been done from the township, I just wanted to give that as an example of how something like this could come about. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Pointer. Any other council members? Seeing none, may I get a roll call?
Councilmember Brescher.
No.
Councilmember Foil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Tell.
Yes. Madam Clerk, please read ordinance 2229.
By and ordinance to the Township of Edison in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, providing for the cancellation of $398,996.63 in bond proceeds not needed for its original purpose to transfer to such an amount to the capital surplus account.
This will also be open to the public comments.
Fagan, 42 Edgewood. So, like the other, like 2228, I think this is for roads, the roads. And thank you for the council for the explanation of, you know, you appropriate a certain amount, you don't spend it all, due to wise government and wise use of our money, and then there's leftover. But what I'm wondering, and Ms. Hennessy, I think, asked the same question, but I'm looking for more specificity. The capital surplus account, so is this canceling the bond? Are we taking the money out of the bank and borrowing it and putting it towards another account that the city can use for anything? It's called the capital surplus account. They can use it for miscellaneous things. Or is this canceling the loan and you're not taking the money from the bank?
So,
So we have not used the money, so that.
So it was never taken from the bank in the first place?
one sec. Let's
Sorry.
finish
Okay.
before you continue.
Yeah.
Again, these are unused funds, so they were never borrowed. So what this is a mechanism which we transfer funds into a capital surplus account.
I'm confused, I'm sorry. So if the funds were never, and I'm a layman, I'm sorry, but, right, I take a mortgage and I take that money and I've got the money and I have to pay it back to the bank. What I heard is that we never took the money from the bank in the first place, but then I also heard we took the money from the bank in the bond, and then we're gonna now transfer it to what I'm gonna call a slush fund. So which one is it? Did we take the money out of the bank or not?
Well, first,
She doesn't
the
know.
problem with what you just said is that you said that if we don't use bond proceeds, that they're put into a slush fund. That is impossible. That doesn't exist. Every dollar that is spent has to be approved in the budget, okay, via appropriation. Whether it has to be previous, you can look at the previous ordinance, a cancellation of an appropriation. So if money is borrowed but no longer needed, it can't be used for anything else. Okay, so in this case, certain funds weren't used. They're put into a surplus account, but they can't be used for anything unless this council approves it. So this is once again an accounting mechanism for unused bond funds. Instead of wasting them on something, now they are held for whatever other project may be necessary. But that would ultimately be an act of council and can't be used unless there's such action. I hope that answers your question.
That's helpful. So the money was borrowed from the bank. The bond was taken out. We pay interest on it, and we have possession of it. But it was designated for that road purpose, and that road purpose is not available, and so we can't use it anymore. So it's locked up, and so we're trying to unlock that money in order to use it for an alternate use under the capital surplus account. Can you tell me, as a resident, what kind of things are spent for under the capital surplus account?
It would have to come to council. I mean, that's the requirement.
Essentially, this is leftover money from projects in the years past, going back to 2010. They are stuck in those particular accounts that we cannot touch or use. This is essentially an accounting mechanism to remove all those money that we may have borrowed. Let's say we borrowed $1 million. We used up $999,000, we had $1 or whatever left. We're essentially just releasing that dollar, putting it back into the surplus capital account, and then essentially closing out that account. So right now we have a lot of accounts open, and it's hard to manage. Imagine having 24 checking accounts and trying to manage all of them. Some of them are not active, but they're still there. We're just essentially closing them out, putting them into a surplus account. When we do use that money, which we'll still come back to, but I can't tell you what we're going to use that money for until it comes to council to be used. in the future.
Council President?
Yes.
Just to clarify, and Mr. Michello was correct in his statement, they're used for general improvement authorization, so for future, which again, have to come to council.
Gotcha, and it's not being specified as of now, and that makes sense. Is it possible to just pay down the bond with this money instead of putting it into a unspecified account for future use at some time later?
We can.
Council President, it is a specified account, it's capital, it's a capital surplus account used for general improvements to our infrastructure. So that's where it's going in.
Okay, so it'll go into a fund where the council has discretion to use in the future budgets, and I guess what I'm asking for you is just pay the bank back with money if you didn't use it. But that's my simpleton way of thinking. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary Ann Hennessy, Edison. I'm trying to follow exactly what you're telling me, and I'm still slightly confused. If you got this money, and it was, say, to do the roads, but you didn't use it all, and it's been sitting there for years, how long do you have when you borrow this money to actually utilize it? I mean, if it's been sitting there since 2010 or later, it's now 2024. Didn't anybody see this? Didn't anybody make a suggestion that it be used? And if you're going to use it, if you're going to put it back in the capital surplus funds, what's not just, and you're telling me that you can't use it for the roads, the money that was left, if that's what I'm understanding.
So,
If I'm not understanding, please explain it to me, but that's what I sat there and listened to.
so let's put it this way. When we pass a bond ordinance here, right, and we say we're going to use this money, let's make it simple, $1,000 for X per project. Let's say a road paving. We continue that project. This was passed in 2010. We continue that project. We end up using $999 of that, $1 remaining. But since we allocated that $1,000 to that road, that $1 left, we cannot touch it minus that project, because that's what the council appropriated in 2000, whatever. Now, someone should have cleaned this up earlier, but from my understanding is no one did. And this was a massive undertaking by the finance department that took them a lot of research to essentially find out where all the money is, all the accounting. And it took them a long time to gather all the data. And they said this is the best way to make sure we can focus on what we need to do going forward. So that $1 here, $10 there, and that's just stuck at that point, and we're not utilizing it for anything. We might as well close it, put it into our regular checking account, and then, utilize it for something else. It could be to pay down debt. It could be to improve our roads. It could be for anything. But once again, they'll have to come back to the council for an approval, because now that we're closing those accounts, it is not allocated for anything specific. Until now, they were allocated for a specific project, and that's the only project they were allowed to be used for. I hope that helped.
It helps, but I also don't understand. My understanding, looking when you talk about bonds, and you take bonds and you take them for so many years. So if you took this bond in 2010, and it was a 10-year bond, that takes it to 2020. Why has it been sitting there for 4 years? I mean, somebody has to be in control. Somewhere along the line, there has to be something like some kind of a little flag that pops up to tell you you should have taken it, or you need to close it out. Why isn't there a procedure to do that so that you don't come back 10 years or 15 years later to clean these things up?
I cannot speak for anything in the past, but we are doing it now, and that's all I can really say.
Council President, this is nothing different than what we just did in the past ordinance, okay? So this mechanism is to close out a bond that we can no longer use. Our department, everyone, including our engineering department, public works, made sure that these projects were closed out. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to cancel these bonds. So essentially, this surplus account let's call it, we are able to, for example, outside of using it for additional improvement authorizations, we can balance our budget, therefore reducing taxes for residents. So there is a good function to doing this. We're really just closing out our books, we're reconciling our accounts, our projects. So that's all it is. I can't make any other assumption as to projects, but these projects are closed. This is leftover money. We cannot use it for anything else. So therefore, we're cleaning our books and we're just simply reconciling our accounts. Nothing more, nothing less. So I can't figure out what other imaginary thing I could use that money for.
I know, and I'm going to be going back and forth with you because I don't understand why there was never.
Council President, I respectfully, the back and forth, I've explained it multiple times. There's no more other explanation I can really give.
We don't have anything but in the past they didn't do it, but we're doing it now.
Do you have some kind of a system now in place that all these bonds that we have just been doing for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years, when they're falling into time, when they're supposed to be closed, they don't sit there like this?
From what I understand from the finance department, yes, we are moving to a better system to make sure that this doesn't happen in the future.
Thank you, that's all I needed to know, because I mean, to me it's very foolish that it's taken this long to close these out when everything's been done.
I agree.
Freeman. For what I know, for what I understand about the bonds, I don't understand why this one showed up, because I know back in 2021 or 2022, and Councilman Brescher would be able to refresh on it, that they consolidated all the stuff. And you're gonna tell me after they consolidated all the stuff and got it down to a 2.78 bond and handed over the money to the new administration, that they didn't find money from 2010 and 2007. None of that money was taken care of. So all of a sudden we have an epiphany and we found out about this money, and I question why we keep putting money into the surplus, because if we keep putting the money in the surplus, what's gonna happen is 3 years down the line, the tax will explode, and who's going to be paying all this extra money back? And I agree with other people, like, if you're not, all this extra money on bonding and extra money, chickens do come home to roost. I just have a problem with nobody giving a definite meaning of why. No matter, everybody keeps going back and forth, but nobody gives you a good reason why we're taking this money and putting it in surplus, other than trying to give us a false impression of our taxes are lower, but they're not.
Elizabeth Conway, 20 Netherwood Circle. I'm sorry to go around and around, but when you take out a bond, is there an interest on this bond that we have to pay back? So if you borrow $1 million, is there an interest payment over the $1 million that you have to pay back? Is my question. So if you get to a point where you're using so much of it, and then you're not using the rest, you're canceling it, but you haven't given them the money back, are we still paying interest, or we don't pay interest on bonds? I equate this to like an equity loan. So if I borrow $100,000 on an equity loan and I only use 78,000 of it, I paid interest on the 78,000, but then I closed out the account and I'm not going to be using the last 22,000. So I'm not taking the money, but you're still taking that 22,000 and putting it into another checking account. I'm trying to equate it to the normal person. So, but I only paid interest on the $78,000 that I actually used. So could you equate that to this bond? Are you paying interest on it? And if you're canceling it, do we not pay any more interest on that extra almost $400,000? that you're putting into your checking account?
So the way I would explain it again, going back to that $1,000 example, you borrowed $1,000 for a particular project. As soon as you borrow, you start paying it off.
Right.
You use $999, and you essentially paid it off in a separate process, right? It's not like you borrow and then pay it off at the same amount. You have a different mechanism to pay off that. And we consolidated our debt in the past, so it's not necessary that individual projects go with individual debt. We can consolidate all of that debt into one particular payment. So you cannot equate, you had $1 in this account, so that $1's debt is still owed. That might have been paid off already. So going back to that example, you borrowed $1,000, you used $999, you borrowed another $1,000 for another project, so you have $2,000. You consolidated that $2,000 into a separate debt. You can pay off that debt. Let's say you paid off that $2,000. You still have that $1 remaining in that account that was appropriated for a particular project.
That you're paying interest on?
No, that payment, the debt payment would have been already been done on a separate consolidation. So if you had two projects, you borrowed $1,000 on each, and you consolidate that debt into one, and you're paying low interest payments on it, that would have been paid off, let's say 2015 already. But that money that's appropriated in an accounting terms for this particular project, that extra $1 that is appropriated already for that project, it's just sitting there, not being used for anything else. So if this is just a way of saying, we're done with this project, we're not going to be able to use this extra $1. We don't need to keep this account open because it's getting confusing because there's 30 different accounts that are essentially closed, but we can't do anything with them. So this is just an accounting mechanism to close all those accounts, consolidate them, make it easier to work with the account. The debt is a separate issue. If it was borrowed in 2010, I would assume it's already paid off. But even if it will be consolidated into a separate thing, it won't be associated with that particular project. That's all I'm trying to say.
Okay.
One second.
Just in terms of the interest rates, I just want to clarify. We do make 5 to 6 payments throughout the year for our debt service, and the interest rates may vary from 2 to 4%.
Council President, can I add a note to that? Because this ties into what Councilwoman Shipman.
Please go ahead. Sorry. Thank you. Anybody else?
Motion to close the public portion?
Hand up.
Second.
Hand up.
All right, one
He saw me. Thank you.
No mask, please.
Artificial intelligence, am I recognized?
You're not.
I'm not recognized?
No. You have to remove your mask, please.
Is it lawful?
Sir, you will have to remove your mask if you want to talk. I'm not going to say it again. I will ask you to be removed. Motion, can I get a motion to close the public?
One tort claim.
Motion to close.
May I have a second?
Second.
That's a motion by Councilman Pointer, second by Councilman Schmuel.
One tort claim.
All in
I
favor?
don't have to remove my mask.
All right, can I get a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
May I have a second?
Second.
That's motion by Councilman Pointer, second by Councilman Schmuel. Any council comments?
Council President.
Councilman Pointer.
Thank you. I understand the sentiment in regards to utilizing the money to pay off the debt. To use $100,000 as an example, say we didn't use $100,000 from this project, right? To Councilwoman Friedman's point, the township consolidated its debt, right? At an interest rate which is lower than what the current interest rates are now, right? Let's call it 1.8%. Current interest rates range from 2 to 4%. We could say, hey, right now, we're going to utilize this money, pay off the debt, and next year when whatever bond comes up, we would just go about it in our normal business. I would rather use this $100,000 at the reduced interest rate and take off the amount that we would need next year. Usually, we've been doing at $15 million clips, right? So utilizing this $100,000 example, Next year, it would be 14,900,000, right? But that 100,000 is at a lower interest rate than whatever the interest rates are going to be most likely next year. Obviously, I can't forecast that, but that's how I'm doing it. Right now, we have the funds that are able to be utilized. Now, if you look at any of the bond witnesses on the right column, it says period of usefulness. So for road resurfacing, we have a 10-year usefulness lifetime of that. So a 2010 bond has already elapsed, right? That's 2020. This is 2015, 10 years is 2025. So that would be the difference. Anything else, President?
Thank you, Councilman Posen.
Sonia, this $398,000, this is sitting in the bank account, correct?
Yes.
We're getting interest on that also.
Correct.
Okay, so in essence, this is an accounting thing that government does. And like my residents, I guess I'm going to use the same verbiage. I didn't go to law school, my attorney here, so we use the word slush fund. But in essence, there are certain things that happen county-wise. This money sits in an account. They've been here for years, right? We haven't spent them. But at some point, when this council might be having to raise your taxes 8%, okay? They can clean this all up, all these little accounts that they have, right? And reduce that cost. Next year is where you'll see like a reduction. Because this is basically like found money that we're going to allocate now. It's going to be in the budget, right? It's just not going to be sitting in the bank account. I mean, there is a drawback. We receive a little less interest. But it's the same type of thing when we have employees in the town. When we put our budget together, we might have allocated 200 police officers. Over the course of the year, we don't hire new police officers, but 20 police officers retire, let's say mid-year. The township saves that $100,000 per police officer that they use then in the following budget. It's an accounting practice. The way the public looks at it, like I do, right? We look at it like it's a slush fund because it's not actually appropriated for a specific cause. It's not like we go in and we say our budget is $150 million and then we spend $150 million every year. There's money that's left over that then gets put into the following year's budget. So because there's no actual designation, that's where we use that word slush fund, because we don't know where it's going. Only the administration could know at this time, or they might not even know at this time. They might decide next year what they're going to do with the funds. So accounting-wise in that, I do understand, but with this here and with the one above, I didn't get to take a look at where this all came from, because I just got my packet. I can't do our drive or whatever we have. I can't do it on my phone. So, right, my cell phone just not comfortable with the first two we have. That's all. That would be enough. Thank you.
As for me, I would just like to say that with the debt payment back, as Councilman Pointer said, if we have a lock-in rate of 1 point or something really low, and our interest current rate is 7% or 2 to 4%, borrowing more money and then trying to pay back something that we have a really low rate in, I don't think that makes financial sense. So it's better to keep that 1 point, whatever rate we have, and use that money instead of borrowing more money at a higher rate. But either way, this is an accounting mechanism. Hopefully this will clean up moving forward, and moving forward they'll keep it in order and close it as it goes along. May I get a motion to issue your actions? May I get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Brescher.
No.
Councilmember Quayle.
Yes.
Councilmember Poyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Patel.
Yes. All right, moving on to ordinance 2230. Madam Clerk, please read the ordinance.
An ordinance providing for the cost of living adjustment for certain employees of the township.
We'll open this up to the public.
Lois Wolke, Peak Road.
You recognize what I'm saying.
I have a question. It says that if the cost of living increase is for certain employees, and the three that are listed are the business administrator, director of water and sewer, and director of public works. Are these the only employees that are getting?
Hey, what's up? They're already giving me trouble. I just want you guys to know I can speak wearing my mask. But the only reason I didn't speak is because he didn't recognize me. So I'm gonna walk up first, get recognized without the mask, and then put it on later. All in all, once my time starts, it is what it is. So I want you to know I didn't not speak because they claim it was unlawful for me to have my mask on. That's not true. I didn't speak because by some bullshit Robert's rules, you have to be recognized first to speak. You understand what I'm saying? I will be putting on my mask and speaking soon, after I'm recognized.
Just let them know if they say that they want you to speak with your mask.
If they say?
If they say
I'm gonna do my civil rights, sir.
Okay.
I've spoken at many council meetings with my mask. This is my First Amendment expression. You understand? This is expression. A mask. You heard that, Hartman? This is my First Amendment expression. The reason why I didn't speak, it's not unlawful. It's completely lawful. But because of formalities, I have to wait for them to recognize me. Once I'm recognized, Lozman versus Riviera Beach Supreme Court ruling kicks into effect. So keep that in mind too.
I don't think it's a question to be answered by us.
You don't understand my question?
No, I don't think it's a question at all. I think it's you're making a statement about your belief that they shouldn't get a raise. That's your right to do so, to make that statement. I don't think it's a question that I can answer.
Does the council feel that this is warranted?
When we go for it, we'll leave that open.
Okay, thank you. Oh, and what I wanted to ask, let's say $6,000 or $2,000, is that staying on the books? Do you give that increase right now, this year, the whole increase, or is it divvied out?
It would be in each paycheck, over the course of the year. Yeah. It's not a one-time payment. It'd be an increase in the salary paid, I believe, bi-monthly.
So it's not given right now, the whole thing?
No, it adjusts the salary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence, am I recognized? I'm recognized? I'm still wearing a mask, but okay. Who's getting a raise specifically?
The three people that are listed are business administrator,
Sonia.
director of water and sewer, and director of public works.
Okay. And why is Sonia getting a raise? For what reason?
It says cost of living adjustment.
Didn't they already give her a vehicle to drive around in? She doesn't have to pay for that vehicle. She already got, how much is her salary per year?
So if you have something to say, please make your statement to the council.
I am making statements.
Okay.
Okay.
Please keep it quiet. Thank you.
I'm making a lot of statements while wearing a mask about Ordinance 2230-2024. Completely lawful. The only reason I didn't speak before because I wasn't recognized. It had nothing to do which mask I was wearing or not. How you doing, Councilman Joe? Okay. How much time do I have left, Marlena? 4.5 minutes. Okay. Yeah, just more corruption from VA Sonia. Asked for numerous meetings from her, never got those meetings.
Respectively, you're going out of the
not an employee.
And
Some personal attacks on an employee, I do not find to be in
Clock off.
line with the ordinance itself.
The councilman is correct. The speaker's comments are not in keeping with what is required of this.
And I think you forfeited your.
I didn't forfeit.
Yes.
It wasn't a personal attack.
No, you.
It wasn't a personal attack. I was just explaining why.
You can please sit down, or I'll have you removed.
You'll have me removed for making public comments on ordinance 2230.
Please sit down, or I'll have you removed. Thank you.
You're watching this, right, Chief?
Officer, can we have this person removed? Thank you.
So,
All right, moving on. Any other?
what am I being removed for? What am I being removed for? I was walking. He told me to walk away. This is completely unlawful.
Yeah.
Is this under threat of intimidation? Is this under threat of arrest?
Let's go.
Are you gonna arrest me?
Come on.
I'm coming, but are you gonna arrest me if I don't leave?
Let's go.
Will you arrest me if I don't leave? I am. Will you arrest me if I don't leave? This is under threat of arrest. Right now, this is what I need for my lawsuit. Tort claim number 2. Tort claim number 2. I was walking away. You create havoc in the audience. You're a disgusting pig, Council President. Disgusting pig. Okay. I didn't come here for any trouble. Tort claim against you. Badge number, Hughes?
547.
Huh?
547.
547. This isn't anything personal, but you just violated my civil rights.
Okay.
St. Matthews doesn't matter anymore, Hartman. 554 Hartman. The tort claim is going against you. An IA complaint is going against you. And I will be filing civil rights violations with the Attorney General's office because the ones here go nowhere. Why was I being, do you even know why I was being removed, Hughes? Do you know why you removed me right now?
Just go before, just go.
Just go?
Just go.
I don't have to go.
It's gonna create a bigger problem.
Just go. I don't have to go. I'm standing in the public. I'm not trespassed from out here. He only has the authority to tell me I can't be in that room. Now I'm out here.
You made your point.
Now I'm out here.
You made your point.
What's your problem,
You made
Hughes?
your point. All right. They asked you to leave. Can you just leave?
No, I'm not leaving. Because I'm allowed to stay. I'm free to leave and I'm free to stay. And I'm making my point. The point is you were just trying to kick me out while I'm lawfully allowed to stay here. Abs, do you even know why I was removed? Are you aware? Hartman, are you aware? Yeah. Yeah. Chief, can I speak to you for a moment, please? Please? No? You violated my civil rights. But do you even know why you removed me?
I'm gonna call you on.
Yeah, Corleone. This guy. I'm a problem? What am I a problem for? Standing out here in public? Asking questions about what just happened? I would like to speak to supervisor. Call the supervisor right now. Yeah, I didn't even ask for a supervisor, but he was already trying to call Mr. Quick Fix. And I want someone other than Leone, because that's who he wanted.
He's the only one working right now.
All right. I want a supervisor right now. You guys don't even know why you removed me. Are you aware he told me he was going to have the police remove me for unlawful activity, and I still chose to move away? And I still chose to move away? I was already moving away. I was already walking away. You guys were probably standing out here not knowing what's going on.
No, I heard you. I heard it.
Yeah, I bet you did. I bet you did. I'm making a problem out here, Hughes? What's the problem that I'm making out here, brother? Brother, what's the problem I'm making out here?
They asked you to leave and you just didn't leave.
I don't have to leave.
Okay.
I don't have to leave. I'm making an IA complaint right now. Oh, that's how you described it, that I'm refusing to leave.
Are you leaving?
I left.
We asked you to leave. You're not leaving.
I left the council chambers. I don't have
We
to
asked you
leave
to
out
leave.
here.
Are you leaving?
My news story's out here. I'm doing an IA complaint. I'm doing an IA complaint for what just happened. Don't retaliate on me right now. Don't retaliate on me because I said I'm going to make a complaint that these complaints go nowhere anyway. Yeah. Yeah. Acting unprofessional is also an IA complaint because it's in your standard operating procedures. Okay? So I'm going to be nice, polite, calm. I'm not hostile. I'm not aggressive. So I really don't understand what the big deal is. I just got removed unlawfully. I was asking you a few questions, and he was getting tough with me. He was getting smart with me. And he was telling me to do things that I don't have to do. The council president only has control of that room. He can only have me removed from that room. The rest of this is a public building.
What happened in May when you got removed?
Sometimes they try to. Why do they keep describing it that I'm refusing to leave? I don't have to leave out here.
I don't know why.
Because of this fucking idiot. Because of this fucking idiot. Why, did anyone tell me that I'm being trespassed if I don't leave?
No, I'm just asking what happened in May when
So
you
why
got removed.
was May recently or when they removed me?
Well, the building's closed right now, unless you're in.
No,
meetings.
right now it's open.
For the meeting.
I'm doing my news story. I'm getting B-roll footage of people going in and out of the meeting.
Okay.
And I'm asking questions, and I'm doing my complaint right now. I asked to do a complaint, IA complaint. And he wants to describe things that I'm refusing to leave. I left the council meeting. That's the only place I have to leave. But these people, these gaslighters like to redefine everything.
Gotcha.
Okay. I see what the playbook is. You guys are going to claim later that I refused to leave. And, all right, tell me first I'm being trespassed so that I can go in my IA complaint. Because as of this moment, I can leave, I can stay. I was only removed from the meeting. And the same thing happens at the Woodbridge Council meetings. When people get removed, you can leave, you can stay, but outside the meeting. It has to be outside the meeting. They only have control inside the meeting. But if you'd like to tell me, you have to leave right now, we're going to trespass you, you're being trespassed, you give me no choice, I'll challenge it later, I'll do my tort claim. But as of this moment, it's still my choice whether to leave or not. Am I being trespassed to leave outside right here? Are you going to acknowledge that? Would you guys, am I being trespassed right now? Okay. This whole thing is a plan manufactured. That's why they're all playing all calm and cool. They said, if this happens, Chris will just stand out here and record out here because he's legally allowed to do that out here. But we're going to redefine things all of a sudden, and we'll lock him up and let him challenge it all later. But it's all right. I'm going to trial for all my cases. I already beat the majority of my cases. And I'll tell you what, I'm not going to do anything that violates the law. Officer Hartman, I'll ask you, am I being asked to leave the building under trespass?
You were asked to leave the meeting.
Thank you. Thank you for confirming it. And until then, it's just been Hughes' ego.
No.
I wasn't here for trouble, Councilman Joe. I don't know why they're acting that way, but I have a good time. Yeah, I'm just doing my constitutionally protected activity, man. Do you know why I was removed from the meeting? Were you out here, or did you just hear the words remove him and you did that all of a sudden? Because they asked me to move away to stop speaking, and that's exactly what I did. So what's this use of force and threat of intimidation. It's a good thing I'm recording the civil rights violation, right? This whole recording proves it right now.
I'm threatening you?
Yeah, I've been threatened because you called up your supervisor before I can make an IA complaint, and you gave in false information that I'm refusing to leave the building. How you doing, Sergeant Leone?
What do we got?
I'm calm.
All right, he's out of the main room.
You just let me know when I can speak. And
If they want him removed from the meeting specifically, he's out of the meeting. Go with that. He can hang here. Christo, if you go back
thank you,
in there.
Sergeant. No, that's what I explained to them. I want you to know this. Even my removal from the meeting was unlawful because when they asked me to move away, okay, pre the cops moving up to me, I did exactly that. So I was going in my tort claim against the council president, but as I was walking away, the council president, just with his ego, wanted to act like even more of a tough guy. I was already doing that. I was walking away. And I don't think these officers knew what was going on. They probably heard the council president say, okay, remove him, and then they went in the room. I was already going to the side. And there was no need for the use of force at that point because at that point, the council meeting, he already got the council meeting in order. I understand, you know, I was already going to do I'm doing a tort claim on Hughes, and I'm doing a tort claim on Hartman. I like him, I don't want to do it, but now I have to do it. And yeah, they chose to follow the unlawful command of a council president. And
When you guys were in there, did you have to physically escort him out? Did it get to that level, or?
No, we just grabbed his bag and he backed up. We didn't touch him.
okay. Absolutely, just like in Woodbridge. When I'm in Woodbridge, Officer Sergeant Leone, I wait for the officer to go to the door, walk up to me wherever I'm standing, and once they tap me on the shoulder, I'm out. That's almost what occurred here, you know. So, yeah, I just went out on my own accord. They didn't have to put hands on me. I didn't want it to get to that point, but Officer used a little professionalism. I didn't want it to get to that point, but it seemed to me that the officers were going to put hands on me had I not escorted myself out. And I just wanted to record that for my future lawsuit because, as you know, Sergeant Leone, it's all ongoing. It's all ongoing, and I'm not here for trouble. As you can see, I'm not acting hostile or aggressive. At this point, I'm just going to, you know, I had not decided if I was going to stay or go. I was just questioning Hughes afterwards as I came out. I guess Officer Hughes didn't like that very much.
Okay.
And
Christo, give me 1 second. I'm going to talk to one of my guys real fast. Hartman.
Absolutely. How you doing, Officer Martin?
Sure, what's happening?
No problem. As soon as I was under threat of arrest, I was walking out.
Okay.
There's a witness in there, a witness out here that can confirm that. I mean, she can't say anything else because I mean.
Listen, I think you know what you can and can't do. So.
And I want you to know this.
If you believe it was getting to be the point where it was itching
no,
that way,
I don't have. They don't have to put hands on me because as soon as he tells me,
right,
you have to do this, and I walk away, it's in my tort claim.
Right.
I was already walking away.
Right.
when they were harassing me. They claimed the statements I made was a public attack on the BA. That's a violation of Lozman versus Riviera Beach Supreme Court ruling. Mm-hmm. Just so you know why I didn't talk the first time when I went up there with my mask. It's not unlawful for me to speak with this mask. They're just being ego tripping after I did my lawsuit. Filed my tort claim. It's a formality. The reason why I chose to walk away was because technically you have to be recognized before you speak. So what I was going to do is I was going to walk up there and I was going to wait for public comments to do that. I was going to walk up there, be recognized wearing, they say you can't wear a mask and be recognized, then why do I get recognized wearing this mask? That makes no sense, so no such policy exists. Mm-hmm. After I got recognized wearing this mask, I was going to put this mask on, and if the officers were going to threaten to remove me, I was going to record that, walk out, it was going to go in my lawsuit, but that just proves a point. You can wear a mask It's just they pick and choose which mask you can wear and which you can't. They don't codify anything. There's no law. The law actually allows me to wear this as my First Amendment right for self-free expression. People go around America as in bumblebee costumes and shit like that. So, I mean, you know, I don't know what your problem with me, Hughes, is, you know? I was gonna be cool when I came out here, but, you know, I'm allowed to ask questions. But, you know, all I was asking you is if you knew why you removed me. Because if you knew why you removed me, I was already walking to the side. But I'll see when you guys activated your body-worn camera. It was probably shortly after he said. I bet you they were both out here. No, they were cool. No, they were cool. At first they were cool. They were both out here. They weren't normally. I have people in here stalking me, giving me a hard time pre the meeting. Hughes was very cordial with me before the meeting. He was pretty awesome. Hartman was awesome. Yeah.
All right, man. So they asked you to leave the meeting. Okay, I understand. And now that you're not physically in the meeting, okay, but you do have to leave the premises. All right, you cannot be on the property unless you're partaking in the meeting.
And this is under threat of trespass.
Define trespassing. That's correct.
Define trespass. Then I'll leave the meeting and I'll just put it in my tort claim. That's why I was waiting for someone to tell me. No, I was waiting for someone to tell me I'm being trespassed because when and you'll see that in the video when me and him were having a conversation. It's still.
That's it, man. So I'm gonna have one of my officers just escort you out into the parking lot, and then again once you're off the property, you're free to carry on with the rest of your evening.
Yeah, but can I make my IA complaint out there? So. I asked him, I want to make my IA complaint, and then he called you to, I want to make an IA complaint on these two officers for removing me unlawfully.
All right.
Thank you.
Just let's walk them out, all right?
See, Sergeant Leone, when he was telling me to go out, that was like asking me a question. You want to go outside? You understand? That's not... No one's telling me I'm being trespassed. You understand what I'm saying, Sergeant Leone?
I got you,
Just
man.
asking someone.
I'm telling you, you're being trespassed, okay?
Well, now that you told me, it's a different story now. But I'd like to do my IA complaint. I was removed unlawfully. First of all, I was recognized. Lozman versus Riviera Beach, Supreme Court ruling. Once I'm recognized and my time starts, they can't say they don't like my speech, or say I'm personally attacking a BA because I think an individual is getting too much money. That's something no, I understand. That's something I'll fight later. I'm not here to argue that or give anyone. I'm not aggressive. I'm not being hostile.
We're not here to do either of that anyway.
And yeah, like I said, before the meeting started, these officers were being awesome, whatever. I just don't understand why the unprofessionalism afterwards, I understand you're told to remove someone, you got to do it, but I don't understand the treatment the way you were treating me, all like, it's like this attitude, like, oh, like this again.
I'm allowed, back and forth.
Okay, we won't. I want to make a complaint on Officer Hughes and Officer Hartman for removing me from this meeting unlawfully against my civil rights and against common law. Which is state of Lozman versus Riviera Beach, Supreme Court ruling.
Christo, we've been very patient with you, all right? This is like the third or fourth time I'm reminding you now that you need to leave the property.
Oh, I thought I was making... No, I apologize. I thought I came out here to make my complaint.
Right,
I'm confused right now.
It doesn't just work like that. You have to leave the property right now. Okay.
All right. It's like 1 acre, so what you're telling me is I have to walk away right now.
That's correct.
So where do I have to be to make my IA complaint?
Well, that would require you to go into the main lobby.
No, any officer can take it at any time, and you and
it's actually not any officer, man. It would have to be a supervisor. Okay.
And you're a supervisor.
But again, the meeting's taking place right now. You've been trespassed from the premises
and I
due
left,
to the meeting.
I left the meeting, and I left the building.
But the meeting is still taking place.
Okay. I left the building, and this is now the property.
So, Christo, I'm going to inform you one last time while the body camera's rolling. I don't know if this is the 4th or 5th time now. You have to
Okay.
leave the property or you will be placed
Okay,
under arrest.
now
for
I'm
fine
starting to
trespassing.
understand. You gave me 4 or 5 threats and I'm gonna walk away.
Okay, thank you.
Where can I go to make my complaint then?
You can come back
All
tomorrow.
right, no, can you meet me? Can you meet me?
Tomorrow or later tonight when the meeting is no longer taking place.
All right,
okay?
but
But right now the meeting's taking
all right.
place and you have to leave the premises.
I am leaving the premises, but like I said, this is a large property and everywhere's public property from here. Where's safe for me?
So
Where is it when you guys are
as long as you're in the parking lot, that's fine.
All right. All right.
Just please.
This is illegal. I walked away under threat of arrest, so you guys can't gaslight and say I'm giving a...
Be in the vicinity of the building, all right?
Well, I was gonna walk home right now, but I'm allowed to be in the vicinity of the building. This is unlawful and against my civil rights. You can walk with me. We can have a conversation.
No, I just want you to go into the parking lot. I can visually see you go into
This is so weird, bro. You're all being complained on. Now I have to do a tort claim on you, Sergeant, and you, Officer Martin, are included in the tort claim.
That's fine, Christo. Have a good night.
Have a good night. No hard feelings, but you can't violate people's civil rights. I'm gonna file a major lawsuit for this. Major lawsuit. And I'm about to beat my next case in my upcoming trial. So each incident like this just keeps adding more and more money in my pocket in the future. Keep it up.
Hope everything works out for you. Have a good night.
I hope so too. So now you guys just on my recording. So what they just did, they completely kicked me out of the meeting unlawfully under threat of arrest, and this is going online. And not just this is going online, but tort claim, lawsuit, all of it. I'm outside the building. He can take the IA complaint. I'm gonna IA complain them. This is the second time they refused to take my IA complaint for this exact incident. I don't have to come back the next day. Now they're saying I'm kicked out of the police side of the building too. So if I needed services from the police department, like making that IA complaint, I can't do it. So this whole thing's going to a civil rights lawyer. And have a nice day, guys.